This is 2E part 2. We've seen how we've created these two buttons, reset and save, and now we need to make them work. We're going to use macros for this purpose, but we'll just have a look at this. It says produce annotated evidence to explain how the requirements of the reset button have been implemented. So if we have a look at the reset button, it said which clears all input data. So we need a macro, but it's going to clear all of that data. First thing I'm going to do is make sure that I've selected a cell that isn't input data, because otherwise when I record the macro and select the cells that are input data, it won't remove them. So we need to go to our developer option and we're going to record a macro. I'm going to call my macro reset, as it makes perfect sense. And now everything that I do now is being recorded. So I'm going to set all the inputs on this worksheet like this and clear them by hitting the delete button. I'm going to go to the vehicle rates worksheet and we're also going to clear these inputs. And in this particular question, this is what I've been asked to do. These are the cell links for the conviction points and the drivers. So when I delete those, you can see that those have gone blank. So on this particular question, I'm asked to clear all of those things. In another question, you might not be asked to clear everything. Just to finish off, I'm going to click again somewhere else that doesn't matter on the worksheet, and now I can stop recording. Now a couple of things here. First of all, we need to assign that macro to the button. So if I right hand click on here, and you'll need to show evidence of doing this, you'll need a screenshot to show how we've assigned the reset macro to that button. I could put some data back in here and then run it and see if it works. Well, let's just put something in for now. Reset, there you go, it does it. Let's do a couple of these as well. Reset, it works. But we also need to show evidence of what we've done. Now we can write down step by step what we did, which is a good thing, but we should also annotate the macro itself. So if you click on macros and then edit, here is your reset macro. And what we can use is we can use apostrophes. You can see how there's one now already for reset macro, to select all the cells, so to give comments on what we're doing. So I'm going to say here, I'm going to put a comment, so selects, oops a daisy, selects all input cells on quote worksheet, because that's what this bit does. It's selecting those cells, select on there, and then this bit is what actually deletes it. Okay, so we're going to put deletes input cells on quote worksheet, and then we can do the same here, that this now moves to the vehicle rates worksheet. So let's write something about that. Move to vehicle rates worksheet, and you can see how we're getting to put in our annotation, but it says comments within the worksheet, within the macro. And again here, this is where we select, okay, con points and drivers, and this is where we clear. Okay, so we delete con points and drivers. And if we want to, we can say here that it's at this point that we return to quote worksheet, because that's what's happening. Sheets quote select. And there we go, we've now got our commented code, and I'll just make sure that everything's still, now it's all still fine. So that's good. So that's our reset macro completed. You just need to make sure that you annotate how you assigned it to the reset button, and you annotate to explain what it does. And we also need to make sure that when we save our workbook, we now save it as a macro enabled workbook. Okay, so if we don't save it as a macro enabled workbook, then we won't be able to get back to the macros because they'll be lost.